Hi, my name is Matthew Talbot, and this is PolitiConnect, an application that I created as my final project for graduation from the Flatiron School. I created PolitiConnect because I wanted to help people become more engaged with their local, state, and federal government by help keeping them informed of upcoming elections, letting them know who their representatives are, and how to contact their representatives. First things first, there is a login and log out function. So let's register, shall we? Username is just going to be demo. Email address just going to be demo@demo.com, and the password is going to be demo. Let's agree to the terms and conditions. Register, and now we're logged in. One thing that bears noting is that you actually do have access to almost all the functions of this application without having to register or log in. However, if you want to make use of the built-in mailer I created in order to enable users to contact their local representatives directly, you are in fact going to need to register and log in. So let's take a look at upcoming elections. Not a whole lot of upcoming elections because every state, now that New York has had theirs, they're the last, has now had their primary elections, which means the only upcoming election is the big one, the U.S. midterm elections in 2018, where the entire House and a good chunk of the Senate are up for re-election. And if you're watching this, please go vote. Because again, here at PolitiConnect, we are all about civic engagement and making sure that people are enthusiastic and engaged participants in our democracy. Now let's check out the representatives function. So if we click See Your Representatives, there's an address bar here. There's a search bar here in which you can enter your address. So I don't want to give out my address on camera, so let's give it 1060 West Addison, Chicago. Major bonus points to you if you know what that address is. And generally speaking, the more you give the address bar, the more you will get back in return. So if you want to give it zip code, you'll probably get even more detailed information. One quick note, it does not, the search function does not work for U.S. territories, only for the 50 states. So if you enter an address in, say, Puerto Rico, Guam, the U.S. Virgin Islands, it will unfortunately not work. Just the 50 states. Okay, so let's see who the representatives are for 1060 West Addison in Chicago. Okay, so obviously one of the representatives is the President of the United States. Let's click the President's profile. And so we have just a quick blurb with portrait, name, party affiliation, address, telephone number, link to their website. Email is unavailable for some of the higher offices, like the presidency and most of the federal offices, largely because for those you have to go through a form on their websites in order to mail them directly, presumably so that you don't have people signing congressmen up for spam bots, because that would just be no good. There are links to their social media accounts down here. Given that this is Donald Trump, that will indeed take you to this one actually will take you to the official presidency Twitter account, Twitter/POTUS, not his infamous other Twitter account. But anyway, so that is kind of the standard view for all our representatives. Let's see, who are the senators? For Illinois, Tammy Duckworth and Dick Durbin. And the local representative is Mike Quigley. You can use our links, and again, he's got his social media links here. We also can go even deeper. For example, the mayor of Chicago. Ah, yes, good old Rahm. He has 2 Twitter accounts, which is why there are 2 Twitter buttons. One, his personal account, and the other, the mayoral account for Chicago. We can go even deeper. We can see our city clerk, state treasurer, attorney general, comptroller, secretary of state, sheriff, state's attorney, treasurer, and so forth. And for offices that do have email addresses listed, we can click the button, and this will take us to our email form, which you can use to directly contact your representative. I'm not actually going to send an email right now because because if I send it, it will actually go to that representative's inbox, and I don't want to harass random local Chicago officials. But this is indeed wired up to a mailer that will directly email the representative in question. So that's pretty much the whole functionality of PolitiConnect. So we've got the email, the links to social media. If we open them up, we'll take up 2 of the social media accounts. Yeah, so that is the full functionality of PolitiConnect. Again, this was mostly built using React Router, and the Google Civic Information API, all of which sit on top of a Ruby on Rails backend. So yes, that's the app. For those of you who didn't figure it out, 1060 West Addison in Chicago is Wrigley Field. So if you're a fan of the Blues Brothers or simply a Chicago resident, you might have gotten that.